pense que je vais commencer avec les mains. Yep. Je peux y aller ou bien? Okay. Welcome to the 60th commencement ceremony of the Leysin American School. It is a pleasure to all have you here today. I would now like to greet the following guests, of which most are watching this ceremony remotely. Mr. Serge Pfister, President of the Town Parliament of Leysin. Mr. Jean-Marc Unriot, Mayor of Leysin. Mr. Michel Rocha, Commencement Speaker. Mrs. Stephanie Aught, Mr. Pascal Stefani, Chair and Vice Chair of the LAS Board. Dr. Christophe Aught, Ms. Dr. Jeff Paulson, members of the LAS Board. Mrs. Doris Aught and Dr. Stephen Aught, President and Vice President of the Foundation Board. Mrs. Stephanie Aught, Mr. Philippe Baudrat, and Dr. Maurizio Fabri, members of the Foundation Board. Mr. John Southworth, Principal of KLAS. Parents, family members, and other guests. LAS faculty and staff, and especially the class of 2020. I'm pleased to introduce Mr. Jamie Scove, the faculty member chosen by the class of 2021 to deliver the opening words. Having taught at LAS for 35 years, Mr. Scove may well have taught some of your parents of the graduates. And yet, not only has he kept much of his youthfulness, but he remains very young at heart, and most importantly, an extraordinary teacher. His classroom is located partially underground at the far end of the Belle Epoque building. In this somewhat isolated location, Mr. Scove produces a lot of magic in his history and economics classrooms. Please welcome Mr. Scove, who will now deliver the opening words.
Thank you, Dr. Aught, for those kind, if hyperbolic words. Right! Now then, girls and boys, sit down. Wait, sorry, wait a minute. Just let me get used to this. Right, young adults. For that, amazingly, is what you have become. In a sensible world, I would now congratulate the class of 2021 and sit down without further comment. I am sure the class of 2021 wishes that I would do so. Unfortunately for the class of 2021, we do not live in a sensible world. No, we live in a world which is far more slavish in its obedience to ancient custom than we care to admit. An ancient graduation day custom demands that a teacher stand one final time to harangue the poor graduates until they beg for mercy. The ancient wisdom has been, make them suffer. And while I'm on the subject of ancient, insufferable customs, permit me to observe that medieval headgear that you are wearing lends to you all a touch of the absurd. But I digress. The administration of Leysin American School have suggested that for me to speak longer than 15 minutes would constitute cruel and unusual punishment. And that if I go on as long as 20 minutes, several strong men will emerge to forcibly remove me. But if I can finish in 12 minutes, then they will pay for my lunch. They know their man, ladies and gentlemen, when I smell free food. Oh, I forgot I can take this off. That's better. When I smell free food, I go for it. So, if I can do this right, you'll see the back of me before we get to minute 13. This will not be easy. It usually takes me longer than that just to read the daily bulletin. How am I to sum up all that you have learned or supposed to have learned since kindergarten in this short time? To do it, I had to strip away all the frills. That means you don't even get any warm-up jokes. So, those of you who came for the jokes might as well leave just now. Okay, let's plunge right ahead into the boring part. This is the part where the teacher tells the students or the graduates to go forth into the world and then gives advice on what to do when they get out there. This is a ridiculous waste of time. As I have learned, the graduates never even listen to, much less take, the advice. So, the best advice I can give to any of you thinking of going forth into the world is, don't do it. Have you been paying any attention at all to the news? It's a mess out there. I've been giving this advice to graduating seniors since I washed up on the shores of Leysin 35 years ago. No one listens. They all go forth anyway. And what has been the result? Well, to name just a few notable disasters: seeming an endless cycle of violence in the Middle East, a bloody military coup d'etat in Myanmar, hyperinflation of 6,500% in Venezuela, the lunacy of QAnon, COVID-19, and TikTok. So, I will not waste my breath pleading with you not to go forth. Instead, I will limit myself to one simple plea. When you do go forth into the world, try not to make it any worse than it already is. I thought it might help you to give you a list of the 100 most important things to do, not to make the world any worse, but I'm shooting for 12 minutes, so there's no time to give you all 100. You will have to make do with 7. And given that I'm competing for your limited attention with your iPhones, even 7 may be asking too much. But here goes. Number 1, bend down once in a while and smell a flower. Number 2, when you finally make it to the end of the ceremony, and after the post-graduation excitement has died down, take a moment to stand silently and take in for the last time as an LAS student this amazing place where you have had the privilege of living and studying. For all its annoying clipboards and check-ins and uniforms and distasteful encounters with your teachers on Monday mornings, I predict that you will have beautiful memories of your time at LAS. Always cherish that beauty. Number 3, listen. Seriously, listen. It's amazing what you can hear. At a cold winter Leysin daybreak, you can hear a solitary crow. You can hear your own breathing. And if you listen carefully, you might hear the voice of one of your teachers saying something that really changed your life. Probably that teacher has no idea what they said, but for you, it was vital. Listen, it's a great way to keep learning. Number 4, turn off your phones once in a while and pick up a book. Yeah. Teachers are always commanding you to read books for a good reason. It will ease your blood pressure. It might wake up your mind. But if it puts you to sleep, you're still a winner. Number 5, don't take yourself too seriously. I've already pointed out that you look faintly ridiculous in those outfits. Get used to being faintly ridiculous. Serious people brought you World War I, World War II, the hydrogen bomb, and the Holocaust. And I'm quite convinced that we've had enough of all that. And if you ever have delusions of grandeur or inflated notions of self-importance, remember that time that you performed an inglorious head plant in the snow park, or you lost your fob again, or you had a mild case of leprosy that you tried to convince the nurses about in order to avoid a test. Be humble in the face of your own limitations. 6, be patient when dealing with other people's faults. My lips would be dripping with hypocrisy if I said that I was very forgiving of my students' faults. There are a few of you I have yet to forgive. But I urge you to remember all the teachers throughout your school career who accepted you with all your flaws and foibles and continued to work with you despite all that. And why? Well, one answer is beautifully expressed in a profound book that you all need to read and reread. It's called The Little Prince by the great French author Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. And in this book, the little prince loves a flower, a beautiful rose. And every night, he covers the rose to protect her from the animals, the caterpillars, and the cold wind with a glass globe. But one day, as the little prince is getting ready to leave on a long voyage, much like you are, the flower asks him not to cover her, not to protect her. And when asked why, she says, "Well, I must endure the presence of 2 or 3 caterpillars if I wish to become acquainted with the butterflies. It seems that they are very beautiful." Now, I don't compare you directly to former caterpillars, with 1 or 2 exceptions, but I think you get the point. Given time and patience, you have all metamorphosed into compassionate, innovative, and relatively responsible humans, although I understand Montreux is still recovering from your visit last night. Now it is your turn to be patient with others and allow them to do the same. Number 7. This one is shamelessly stolen from a lovely book titled Wonder by R.J. Palacio. And you all need to read it, but allow me to read from the end of the book, and in which, coincidentally, a middle school director is giving a graduation talk to his graduating middle schoolers. Get it? This is a lesson for middle school, and it's the most important one for you. Mr. Tushman said, "But what I want you, my students, to take away from your middle school experience is the sure knowledge that in the future you make for yourselves, anything is possible. If every single person in this room made it a rule that wherever you are, whenever you can, you will try to act a little kinder than is necessary, the world really would be a better place. And if you do this, if you act just a little kinder than is necessary, someone else, somewhere, someday, may recognize in you, in every single one of you, the face of God, or whatever politically correct spiritual representation of universal goodness you happen to believe in." It's pretty simple. Be kinder than necessary. So, when you go forth into the world, you're going to find yourselves surrounded by shouting, red in the face, stomping mad politicians and bosses and other lowlives who don't listen and take themselves way too seriously and are impatient and unkind and who will try to ruin your day. And when they come at you with that, ladies and gentlemen, give them a good wink, a smile, and a good view of your departing back. And as you walk away with a good book in your hand, bend over and smell a flower. Well, it seems that I have run past the 12-minute limit, and now I shall have to pay for my own lunch. That's an economics lesson, class of 2021. There's no such thing as a free lunch. And now I will congratulate you and sit down. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Scove, for this inspiring speech and final economics and kindness lesson. Next in the program, we will now listen to the Swiss National Anthem. I'd like everyone to please stand. Thank you. You may be seated. I will now introduce the Senior Award recipients. So as I say your name, just please stand up briefly, and then you may be seated. I'll start with the Sigrid and Fred Aught Founders Award. Awarded to the graduating student who best embraces Sigrid and Fred Aught's ideals of scholarly pursuit and intellectual curiosity as a foundation of his understanding of the world. This award is sponsored by the late Mrs. Sigrid Aught, founder of LAS. The recipient of this award is Tep Cameron Chan. Faculty Award for Innovation, awarded to a student who, in view of the faculty, best embodies a passion for learning through an innovative and open-minded approach to scholarship. This award goes to Wen Zhuang. The Maurizio Fabri Award for Compassion, awarded to a student who shows great strength of character and a sense of kindness and caring to the whole LAS community. The award recipient this year is Emma Magnuson. The award for responsibility, awarded to a student who has shown growth in making responsible and thoughtful decisions that take into account those around them. This award goes to Yi Yang. ECIS Award for International Understanding, awarded to a pupil who is a good representative of his own country with a positive attitude towards the life and culture of the host country, able to converse in at least 2 languages, a contributing force to the life of the school with the ability to bring different people together in a sense of community, thus furthering the cause of international understanding. The recipient of this award is Samuel Karnagorski. The Doris and Stephen Aught Award for Excellence, awarded to the student who best embodies Doris and Stephen Aught's ideals of developing innovative, compassionate, and responsible citizens of the world. We have 2 award recipients this year. They are Ashkan Kanderu and Miwa Tsuchiya. Salutatorian. This honor is awarded to a senior who has taken a highly challenging academic program and who has the second highest academic standing in the senior class. The salutatorian of the class of 2021 is Tep Cameron Chan. Valedictorian. This honor is awarded to a senior who has taken a highly challenging academic program and who has the highest academic standing of the senior class. The valedictorian of the class of 2021 is Wen Zhuang. We are proud to have Wen Zhuang as our valedictorian this year. Wen Zhuang was born in Hunan province in China and moved to the United States at a very young age. His mother currently lives in Houston, Texas. Wen Zhuang is a very goal-oriented, he's always willing to help others, and possesses a wonderful sense of humor. Let alone, he's actually an outstanding piano player, which we witnessed the other evening. He's also an Eagle Scout and served as the Chief Information Officer of this year's Student Council. Starting this fall, he will be studying at New York University, Stern, NYU Stern, one of the top business schools in the world. I'd now like to ask Wen Zhuang to step forward to address the commencement service.
Thank you, Dr. Aught. Good afternoon, students, faculty, and parents. My name is Wen Zhuang. As we all know, this year has been an incredibly challenging year for everyone. The pandemic has created a host of issues, such as quarantining and social distancing measures. For us seniors, it has made IB much more challenging. We have struggled our way throughout the year, and we are finally at the end. Hopefully, after vaccine distribution has reached a certain point, our lives will return to normal, and we can leave the pandemic behind us. However, this does not mean that we should try to forget this period of our lives. Aeschylus believed that wisdom comes through suffering. Trouble with the memories of pain drips in our heart as we try to sleep, so men against their will learn to practice moderation. This year doesn't have to be a painful memory to be forgotten. It will be whatever we make of it. Those of us who partied hard before the pandemic were forced to understand restraint. Well, some of us. Those of us who didn't leave our rooms for weeks or months on end learned that you have to make a persistent effort to maintain your relationships, or else they'll fade away, just like everything in life. Everyone has a different starting point, so our flaws and learnings will be unique. There is no one-size-fits-all life lesson. In the same way, we as seniors will all have separate paths in the future and different goals and aspirations. We're at a crossroads in our life, and we're passing a point of no return. Our graduation from high school represents a shift in our existence, from a child under the rules of our authority figure to an adult under the laws of society. We are now responsible for our futures, and though some may try to force us down specific paths, no one except for us is truly excited. It's truly able to decide what it is that we will do. So we need to think. We need to think about what we truly want in life, and once we understand, we have to stick with it. I don't mean to think about specific career paths or where we want to live in the future, but rather what we want from life at the deepest level. Some people just want to live an average life with a happy family and make enough money to just be comfortable. Others want to have fun their entire lives without worrying about anything. Some of our goals cannot actually be completed until we die. For example, being happy is a lifelong goal and must be continually striven for forever. In the end, whether or not we are satisfied with our lives depends on if we are doing what we truly want to. So as we part from LAS, I think we should all really figure out what we want from life and make sure that this desire reflects on every decision that we make. I've been at LAS for 3 years, and I've had so many experiences here, and it's so hard to leave. I'm really going to miss everyone, and today is probably the last time that we'll all be in the same place at the same time. I genuinely want to see you all again, and I want to see everyone achieve their goals and be happy with the way things are going in the future. So, to everyone here, thank you for all the experiences that you've given me and for allowing me the opportunity to address all of you today.
Thank you, Wen Zhuang. Parent Award. Parents are essential to our school. They support us by entrusting their children to us, by recommending the school to family and friends, by sponsoring events that promote the school. Parents bring fresh ideas and contribute to our fundraising efforts, such as our successful scholarship program for deserving students. We believe this partnership with parents is the glue that makes LAS work. Mr. Ziad Abu Ragheb and his wife, Mrs. Rima Koreibi, have been part of the LAS community since 2014, when their first son, Tarek, applied and began studying at LAS along with his cousin, Sami. After Tarek graduated in 2017, his brother, Karim, began his education at LAS and is part of this year's graduating class. His family has been a strong supporter of the school while always being a fair advocate for their sons. They've been gracious hosts and have helped promote the school around the Middle East. Ziad is a global entrepreneur, and Rima is a writer and advocate for women's rights. In recognizing their contribution to the school community, LAS would like to offer the Parent Award to Mr. Ziad Abu Ragheb and Mrs. Rima Koreibi. Congratulations. Now I'd like to introduce Mr. Michel Rocha, CEO of EHL, École Hôtelière of Lausanne, a top-ranked hotel management school in the world. Mr. Rocha has been connected with LAS for well over a decade. First, he was our ISO 9001 external auditor, and then he served as a member of the foundation board until 2 years ago. However, he has remained connected and is a friend and supporter of LAS. Having just had the privilege of visiting EHL a few weeks ago, I was reminded that Mr. Rocha is a true visionary. Thanks to his leadership, he has helped EHL, which already was a top-ranked hotel management school before he became CEO, to become a truly innovative and forward-thinking institution. As he says, we are constantly trying to be in the forefront. As a fellow colleague in education, as a friend, and as a visionary, it is a great honor to welcome Mr. Rocha's commencement address, which has been pre-recorded.
Dear student, I would have loved to meet you in person, but due to the circumstances, I have the honor and the pleasure to meet you online. Today is a great day for you and for LAS. Congratulations, you did it. I'm sure parents and friends are proud of you. It's not an end, it's a beginning for you, it's a beginning of a wonderful journey. Now you're part of the LAS family for your life. Leysin American School is an extraordinary institution founded by the Aught family, and this institution has wonderful values. Now, it's up to you to develop these values around you. Now you're innovative, compassionate, and responsible citizen of the world. What does it mean? It means benevolence. And it's a word I would like you to remember, benevolence. Benevolence is to be able to look around you and to be like a sponge. Yes, like a sponge. Look at people, look at their attitude. Be open to their culture. Be open to the environment. Be proactive. Make people feel comfortable with others and the environment. Give attention and love, and sometimes money to those who have less. Life is short. World is small. During your life, you will meet many times the same people. It's a common journey. Benevolence, attitude, is a way of life. Helping others to grow and to be better is the most important thing to do. As CEO of the École Hôtelière de Lausanne, my feeling is that tomorrow, soft skills like you have will be a great added value in your professional and private life, and in any activities you will do. Being a responsible citizen of the world and being benevolent are key success factors for today and tomorrow. Once again, congratulations and enjoy your life.
Thank you, Mr. Rocha, for these very inspiring words. A person needs both roots and wings to succeed in life. The roots to know oneself and the wings to grow beyond oneself. The roots have been given to our graduates by their parents, who have patiently and wisely raised their sons and daughters, chose them to send them to LAS, and are today seeing them off to universities. Let us give the parents of our graduates a big round of applause for what they have done. The wings that will carry you, graduates, to greater heights have been given to you by your teachers, faculty, and other people here at the school. On a daily basis, they've encouraged you to look beyond yourself, believe that you can run faster, jump higher and further than you ever could imagine. They leave you with the ability to fly in quest of intellectual growth. Let's give all of the faculty a big round of applause for what they have done. Thank you. Now we come to the highlight of today's ceremony, which is the awarding of diplomas. I'd like to ask Mrs. Lynch, Dean of Academics, my brother and my sister, to step forward.
Karim Abu Rageb. Anshuman Agarwal. Mashur Al-Saud. Ahmed Amodi. Alberto Arafzaga. Ian Balbe Felnley. Alvaro Bartolome. Nico Bass. Absal Baisenbayev. Tasia Belova. Emma Burzen. Vanessa Bravo. Sydney Brown. Gerardo Calado Vasquez. Santiago Calado Vasquez. João Canavesi. Amanda Candido. Samuel Karnogorski. Tep Cameron Chan. Zhuo Chen. Yin Che Chu. Lauren Davis Robato. Carlota de la Garza Martins. Laurent Dormont. Esme Friton. Valentina Gomez. Kosuke Haraguchi. Jordi Herrera Soler. Jacqueline Hong. Xiaoyu Huang. Pei Yu Hung. Cheyenne Jaspers. Melissa Khalifa Villarreal. Berjan Karashev. Ray Kayamori. Ashkan Kandaru. Kacper Kowalczyk. Ignacio Leal. Jutong Lee. David Lopez Casas. Emma Magnuson. Satoka Majima. Aiko Matsubara Kwan. Luc Mecoire. Daviel Michaels. Louis Mizuno. Aina Naruse. Camilo Nino Labrador. Megan No. Daria Panasenko. Bart Poltarak. Ivana Radokiewicz. Parvathi Ramesh. Nicole Rashkavan. Michael Schultz. Marcela Selva. Hotaka Shinohara. Ilya Shustikov. Fiona Sprantz. Andrea Suarez. Maria Schuster. Yoshiki Takatsu. Michael Tarquinto. Felix Teigen. Gloria Torne Villaseville. Tamzir Toure. Miwa Tsuchiya. Sofia Tuhulakova. Samuel Wang. Jung-Hae Woo. Yi Yang. Yi Yang. Bai Hao Ye. Sin Yu Wan. Susanna Zaide. Hao Yang Zheng. Wen Zhuang. Tia Wen Tso. Graduates, please stand. Traditionally, the moving of the tassel at graduation is called turning of the tassel or the turning of the tassel ceremony. It symbolizes one's transition from candidate to graduate. Will the graduates now turn their tassels from right to left? We are all so very proud of you and wish all the best to the LAS class of 2021. You may be seated.
Congratulations again. I'd like to now ask my parents to give their address to graduates.
Hello. We hope that you will strive for self-improvement through study and an open mind, and that you will never stop to find excitement in learning.
We hope that you will be loyal to your friends and family in happiness and sorrow, in good times and in difficult times, loyal to your convictions, for they will carry you through the tribulations of life.
We hope that you will find love and that you will love beyond mutual attraction throughout life. But remember, loving is trying to make others happy. To quote the Corinthians, love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful. Love is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable and resentful. It does not rejoice at wrong, but rejoices in the right. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends.
We hope that you will be strong and withstand the challenges of life. As written by William Henley in the final verse of his poem Invictus, it matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Stay strong when the winds of life blow hard.
We hope that somewhere hidden in your soul, you will remain a bit of a child, so that you can find joy in the small things in life. The excitement in winter's first snow, the budding flowers of spring, or the sun setting over the horizon. Keep on experiencing the beauty of the world like a child seeing it for the first time in wonderment.
We hope that you will remain a citizen of the world, actively contributing to the understanding among humankind. A citizen of the world is tolerant and understanding of traditions and cultures. A citizen of the world bridges artificial barriers by finding unity in being a member of mankind.
We hope that you will lead a full life and experience joy. We hope that you will find the inner strength to face, overcome, and learn from the trials and difficulties of life, always putting them into perspective with those that other people experience.
We hope that as you experience success in life, you will not forget those less fortunate than you. There is true joy in giving and helping others.
We hope that you will remember the magnificence of the Dent du Midi at sunset and loveliness of the first snows on the slopes above Leysin. We hope that you will be committed to maintaining the world's beauty for future generations.
We hope that you will subscribe to the message spoken by Fred Aught, founder of our school, at the first LAS graduation in 1962. My creed. I do not choose to be a common person. It is my right to be uncommon if I can. I seek opportunity, not security. I do not wish to be a kept citizen, humbled and dulled. I want to take the calculated risk to dream and to build, to fail and to succeed. It is my heritage to stand erect, proud, and unafraid, to think and act for myself, to enjoy the benefits of my creation, and to face the world boldly and say, "This I have done." All this is what it's meant to be a citizen of the world. Keep the faith in yourself and your Creator.
Godspeed and au revoir.
Thank you for this wonderful message. School hymn. Students and several faculty members have pre-recorded the LAS school hymn, Hail to Thee, Our Fostering Mother, written by my grandfather, founder of LAS, Fred Aught, when he was only 16 years old and himself a boarding school student. We're excited to listen to a traditional version followed by an alternative version right after. I'd ask everyone to please stand.
To thee, thy fostering mother, alma mater, hail to thee. Fly thy banner, flag of learning, emblem for humanity. From the cities to the mountains, through the forest spreads thy name. We the children, thanks forever, proudly we acclaim thy fame. Hail to thee, thy
Yeah, you may be seated. Well, thank you, Sophia, Nicole, Viola, Isabella, Mr. Fomalont, Ms. Flett, Ms. Passencoy, Ms. Mung, Mr. Flynn Paddock, and Mr. and Mrs. Bradley for this wonderful performance. I'd like to now ask Mr. Joyce, Director of Advancement, to present the Outstanding Alumnus of the Year Award.
Thank you, Dr. Aught. And hello, LAS alumni. Nice to see you all. Congratulations. You all heard me give this speech yesterday at our alumni induction ceremony, so now I get to share this with our parents. A new tradition has started at LAS. The LAS Alumni Association is excited to honor our very first Outstanding Alumni of the Year. And that recipient is Bill William Carney from the class of 1969. The Outstanding Alumni of the Year Award will be presented to an LAS alumnus or alumna each year to recognize their individual personal achievements, contributions to their industries or professions, and service to their community and the greater good of the world. Entrepreneur, professor, board member, disc jockey, and community leader are just a few titles to which Bill goes by. Growing up in New York and then moving to Freetown, Sierra Leone, Bill has lived and worked all over the world. A graduate of Wayne State University in Detroit, Michigan, Bill shortly began his career as a planning manager in Africa for General Motors. He subsequently spent the next few years traveling the continent doing market analysis and working on distribution channels. Bill was named the first recipient of the General Motors International Fellowship, and the company sponsored his MBA at IMI in Geneva, Switzerland, now known as IMD Lausanne. Without surprise, Bill graduated at the very top of his class. Since then, Bill has become a university professor himself, working with the Hult International Business School, founded a recorded studio in Geneva, which has expanded into Laughing Bear Productions, DJ'd on the Swiss radio waves, hosting the Dr. Bill Show, and had a confirmed audience in excess of 2 million people on Friday and Saturday nights. And he has consulted for large companies and NGOs across the world on marketing and diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice. He also works with the Human Library, a Danish nonprofit organization with the goal to create better understanding of diversity in order to help create more inclusive and cohesive communities across cultural, religious, social, and ethical differences. Bill's beyond incredible and diverse professional career has put much of his time and energy into also supporting LAS, his alma mater. Bill has been an alumni induction speaker, been a DJ for 3 proms, donated his professional services as a marketing expert during our admissions retreat, and is now advising LAS on diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice. Bill also serves as a member of the LAS United States Advisory Board. He has 2 children and spreads his time between Boston and Geneva. We are delighted to honor Bill with this award at our 2021 graduation. The entire LAS alumni and parent community will now have an opportunity to see Bill offer a few words of advice to our graduating students. Congratulations, Bill Carney, class of 1969.
Hi everybody, this is Bill. Brian's been chasing me to try and drop a little video for you guys, and it's been not the easiest of things to accomplish because I've been dancing all over the world, from West Africa back to Switzerland, and now I'm in Boston. But I did want to record just a quick little message. to thank everyone for the good wishes, and obviously to thank my family up in the mountain for the award which they have so graciously given me. It was totally unexpected, and for those of you who know me, I think I better say for once, they caught me speechless. So I don't really want to get too poetic here, but I did want to just take a few moments to say thank you very much to my friends up in the mountain and to the rest of the LAS family. Thank you very much for the warm wishes which I have received. I'm going to do everything I can to kind of keep on keeping on, if you're familiar with that expression. And perhaps just a quick note to the seniors who are graduating. Congratulations, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Mr. Joyce. I would now like to ask Dr. Christoph Aught to deliver the closing words.
Proud parents, exhausted faculty, and beautiful class of 2021. Yesterday and today, you have heard many wonderful speeches and reserved lots of praise for your accomplishments. I'm just as proud of you as the others who have spoken today, but the intention of my speech is to challenge you in the role and responsibilities you have been given in this new chapter of your life. Last week, I saw a video that brought tears to my eyes. It was a video of a flash mob in Paris, in a train station, singing and dancing the song Dansez encore, dance, continue dancing. This happening represented an emotionally powerful way of what has been lost during the pandemic, a sense of humanity and togetherness. And the Paris flash mob, for me, represented how alive the human spirit remains despite these tough times. This pandemic is a generational defining moment. This pandemic is a war where we are all on the same side. Contrary to what history books teach you, there are no winners in a war. There are only varying degrees of pain. This pandemic has been unfair for many, but this has been especially true for you, graduates of 2021. While your age group is statistically among the least affected by this virus, the emotional pain you have paid may seem exorbitant. This perception does not have to be so. You have a choice to make. You can consider yourselves as victims or as having been victimized. There's a difference. The first is a state of mind, while the other is an external circumstance over which you have no control. It is much harder to change a state of mind than to see positives in a tough situation. Before me, I see you, class of 2021, who were not victims this year. This year, you thrived, not just survived. While this virus has been terrible and tragic for many, the biggest danger is not the virus itself. We have all the scientific knowledge and technological tools to beat COVID-19. The real danger is our inner demons: fear, hatred, and greed. The real fear is what this virus facilitates: the spread of authoritarianism. The real fear is the shutting down of freedom of speech and the spread of totalitarian surveillance. Fear. Last year, in my closing speech, I spoke at length about how fear is the deadly cancer of our time. Fear is poisoning our minds, and fighting fear is hard. Fear brings out the worst in humankind and has been exploited by media and politicians, not interested in the common good, but in extending their powers. Authoritarianism. In this crisis, governments around the world have accumulated unprecedented levels of power and used them to fight this terrible virus. Governments have spent colossal amounts of money to save the economy. The end of this real-world experiment is uncertain, and few are speaking about the price that we will have to pay for it. The combination of power and high debt is potentially toxic. Surveillance. As New York Times columnist Bret Stephens describes, many governments around the world have used this pandemic as an alibi to ban public assemblies, close border, strong-arm businesses, impose travel restrictions, and suppress media outlets in the name of combating false information. Many governments have used this pandemic as a ready-made excuse to increase the surveillance of their citizens. Whether you agree with Bret Stephens or not, the issue at hand is that increased surveillance of citizens has not been accompanied by increased surveillance of governments. And in my opinion, public debate around these decisions has not been sufficient. 80 years ago, Charlie Chaplin came out with his prophetic film, The Great Dictator. Ironically, Charlie Chaplin and Adolf Hitler, depicted in this film, were born within 1 week of each other and represent opposite poles of humanity. As Chaplin's biographer David Robinson said, each in his own way has expressed the ideas, sentiments, aspirations of the millions of struggling citizens. Each is a distorting mirror, the one for good and the other for unspeakable evil. In the closing speech of the movie, Charlie Chaplin makes an impassioned plea for brotherhood and goodwill, encouraging soldiers to fight for liberty and not slavery. Let me read an excerpt of this speech to you. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives us abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent and all will be lost. The kingdom of God is within man. Not one man, nor a group of men, but in all men, in you. You, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. The future is not written yet. When asked about this topic, Yuvraj Harari, author of the book Sapiens, says, I think future historians will see this period as a turning point in the history of the 21st century. But which way we turn is up to our decisions. It's not inevitable. So not everything has to be bleak. And this pandemic has brought us many, many gifts. We have seen how neighborhoods came together, how young people went shopping for the elderly, how every night for weeks, health workers and their extraordinary efforts were applauded. We have seen how a less hectic way of life and the focus on beauty around us have given us strength and courage to carry on. And at LAS, we have seen how we, as a community, have paid closer attention to the things that matter the most: relationships, purpose, and spirituality. So whatever happens to you in the future, graduates of 2021, stay vigilant, focus on humanity, and always show compassion towards yourself and towards others. Stay positive, be enthusiastic, and be grateful. Go dancing like those people in the Paris train station. Thank you very much.
All right, we're coming to the end of the ceremony. I have to now call you dear alumni. So here are the last and final instructions. Please listen very carefully. So as you exit the room afterwards, you will pick up your documentation as we had discussed yesterday, and you also drop off your gown. And we also have a little surprise for you ready as you pick up your things. So last but not least, we're going to do the traditional overthrowing of the cap. So I ask everyone to stand to sort of get a little bit more into the middle. Do not forget, we'll throw it on 3. 1, 2, and then 3 you throw it. But just wait 1 second. All right, everyone ready. Take your cap. Okay. Yeah, no, not yet. Yeah, take your cap out. Ready down below here. All right. 1, 2, and 3. Congratulations, class of 2020. Everyone. Thank you. This is the end of our ceremony.
Ok, excellent. Fini par un logo, quelque chose, l'école, je sais pas. L'école? Non, l'école.